Well, some said it couldn't be done, but it was. The Republic of Ireland secured a very valuable away point against Sweden on Friday night.
Keane. It's Wilson. And Wilson back for Keane again, who's opened up the possibility of a little cross here towards the back to Walters. Just couldn't climb high enough, under pressure by Safari.
Walters on the back post. Look, he's trying to get over the top of the fullback and he can't do it.
Olsen, Kacheliknik's passed out, and McCarthy releasing Shane Long. And Long against Granqvist. Long, oh, another glorious chance goes a-begging.
It's a great ball by McCarthy. The weight of it gets Long running at the centre-back. Granqvist falls over, he's got to score again. It's two great chances we've now missed.
Against Granqvist, Ibrahimovic clattered. Oh, Ford makes the save. Well, that was Hussein.
Look, Ibrahimovic getting up there, winning it. And Hussein reads it well. It's a good save.
Flat delivery, little touch, and Ford again in the rescue. Granqvist with a little touch there, and David Ford quite brilliant. He's onside here. It's come through to McLean. And cleared away, and the pressure comes on from Ireland.
John Walters is looking at Robbie Keane and saying, why didn't you play it first time? Why did you let it bounce? Because there was two Ireland players in the centre of the goal. He just had to knock it in quick.
Coleman stretching, but it's come now to Safari. His cross almost to Ibrahimovic, a shot. And in goes Toivonen, and Green intervened. Not quite over yet. David Ford has to make the save right at the finish, proving that it ain't over until the final whistle sounds. Third big save by David Ford tonight.
And it's a corner, and they've got 6 or 7 6'5" men in the box.
Last throw, but Ford equal to the challenge. And it's the end of the game. And fitting that it should end with a goalkeeper who has enhanced his reputation hugely this evening as well, with 3 big saves. The ball dispatched into the crowd. A handshake for Trapattoni. That has to go down as a point won and 2 lost for Sweden. Final score in the Friends Arena in Stockholm is Sweden 0, Ireland 0.
Yes, I have to say that was one of the more enjoyable Republic of Ireland international performances in recent times, and this is how the Group C table looks at the moment. Germany, unbeaten so far, lead the way. They play Kazakhstan next, so that won't change. Sweden are currently second. Their next outing is away to Austria on the 7th of June. Same day we play the Faroe Islands at the Aviva. Austria are currently ahead of the Republic of Ireland on goal difference. Well, Damien, I enjoyed that game, and I thought it was our better performances, but it's your opinion that matters. What did you make of Ireland's efforts on Friday?
Yes, I liked it from the very beginning. I liked the fact that David Ford asserted his authority right from the word go, settled his back four down, became a part of that. When you see a keeper commanding his area, it gives everybody confidence. The back four played together, very compact. The midfield worked very hard. The 2 wide players I felt were very productive, particularly James McLean down the left. And Robbie Keane did a huge amount of work in there. Unfortunately, it left Shane Long somewhat isolated, too much on his own. But that's part and parcel of playing away. Overall, I think the performance gave us great confidence, great hope for the game tomorrow evening. Yeah. And I think the manager will be well happy with the way the team played, and to be fair to him, for a lot of the selections he made. Green in the middle of the park, got a lot of stick over it, and he actually came good for him.
Yeah, Kenny, not everybody agrees with Trapattoni's selection in terms of the personnel he puts out on the pitch. But tactically, did he get it just right against Sweden, in your view?
Yeah, spot on. I mean, a lot of talk in the lead up to the game in terms of what was said beforehand by the manager, but when you saw the actual team sheet that was going to take to the pitch against Sweden, for me, the balance of the team was excellent. This was a front three that I was hoping to see for quite some time. Shane Long high up the pitch, Walters and James McLean. Real kind of pace and power all across the front line. Nicely balanced with kind of Robbie's creativity in behind. And then the 2 centre midfielders kind of dovetail, and Paul Green good defensive discipline in that area of the pitch. And James McCarthy, for me, is probably our best all-round midfielder who we have. And he was the one getting on the ball, dictating the game and giving us a measure of control in the game, which we hadn't seen previously. So there was a lot of good, a lot of positives to come out of the performance.
Yeah, and Glenn Whelan returns to the midfield in place of Paul Green, so it's him and McCarthy in the middle. But I suppose the one issue that has created most talk since he's announced the team for tomorrow night's game is the selection of Conor Salmon up front. Do you think Trapattoni had other options there, and what were they?
Oh yes, he had other options. He could have played Wes Houlihan, for example. He could have brought Kevin Doyle straight back in. But isn't it lovely to see a young man like Conor Salmon who's come through the system here, leading his country up front in a very big match tomorrow evening? So all our wishes are with him. We hope he produces what he's capable of producing. But there will always be thoughts about Wes Houlihan's ability on the ball, how creative he is, and many times, particularly at home, it's gaining possession of the ball and then keeping that possession. And Houlihan is very, very good like that. But by going for a 4-4-2, the partnership between Conor Salmon and Shane Long is going to be very, very important. I think Trapattoni is looking to the big man, maybe getting a flick on, his physical presence from free kicks, corner kicks, balls into the box. And I think if you're looking at Conor Salmon, that's what Trapattoni will want for him. Now all that's left is for the young man to deliver.
Kenny, do you think that Trapattoni could be a little more adventurous at home? I mean, we are the home team. The onus is on us to go and get the 3 points.
Yeah, I think the selection of Conor is a real indication of how the manager wants to play. A lot of people suggest, it's a very bold, adventurous choice playing Conor Salmon, say, as opposed to Wes Houlihan. But I wouldn't necessarily agree. By playing the 2 players high up the pitch, we're presuming Austria will play predominantly a 4-3-3 and overload that central area of the pitch. If that's the case, it's going to be very difficult for James McCarthy and Glenn Whelan to impose themselves in that area of the pitch being outnumbered. So invariably you're going to see us go back to front very quickly, which is the way you probably should play when you employ this formation. By making a commitment to Wes, you're really committing yourself to playing a different way. To utilise Wes, you need to get him on the ball in an area of the pitch where he's going to influence the game. So you've got to play a certain way. You've got to get the ball out of the back. You've got to funnel it into central midfield. And you've got to play a different way. Question is, which is going to be the most successful? Haven't seen a huge amount of Wes in an Orleans jersey, but when he has played those cameo roles, particularly the last 2 friendly games, I've liked what I've seen. He gives us a totally different dynamic. I think he links up very well in that central area with James McCarthy. He brings full-backs into the play. I think he can spring from there in advance of the lone striker, which he did score in his first goal for Ireland. Yeah. So I think it's a really exciting option to have Wes in that area of the pitch, and one which I would have liked to have seen. I hope things go well for Conor Salmon. I'm not saying his selection means we won't be effective, but it means we're committed to playing a certain way against Austria, very kind of high tempo, direct, kind of physical approach. If you look at our front 4, big, powerful, strong, you've got to play to their attributes, get the ball back to front quickly into last third, pick up second balls and really press this Austrian team.
Yeah, and I suppose on the positive front, as far as Trapattoni is concerned, at least he has shown confidence in bringing Wes on to try and influence the game and try and change things if we're in a stalemate situation, which could very well happen against a side like Austria.
Yes, indeed. And one thing you have to be mindful of as well, Wes, the role he plays, it's a very demanding role physically. We saw Robbie go through a lot of hard work in that particular position. And Trapattoni is obviously thinking that maybe I'll keep someone like Wes to late in the game if we really need that impetus. Whereas if I start him and it doesn't work and I take him off, who else have I got to play in that role? So it's a manager's decision. He obviously knows a lot about Austria, I would imagine. He knows the best way to play against him, and he feels comfortable in the fact that he goes back to an old-fashioned striking partnership of a big man who's got a great physical presence and a quick man beside him who can see us on any mistakes. And much will hinge on that partnership tomorrow.
Yeah, OK. Well, right now we can go to Tony O'Donoghue, who can bring us the latest from the Irish camp. Tony is at the Aviva Stadium.
Yes, Peter, welcome to a very cold Aviva Stadium, I have to say. I think that's the dark going by tomorrow. If fans are coming down tomorrow evening, I advise you to wrap up really warm because it's absolutely Baltic. I think it's colder here than it was in Sweden, even though it was -11 in Sweden. Now, of course, the big question today was whether Trapattoni would change the team. He had to, of course, because Robbie Keane was injured. He also put Glenn Whelan straight back in, but the talking point has been the inclusion of Conor Salmon. And I spoke to Conor Salmon a little earlier today, and it's a marvellous moment for him and his family, and indeed for the League of Ireland. Conor is one of 5 ex-League of Ireland players to start in the game tomorrow evening.
I've always had belief in my own ability, and I felt if I kept working hard, and you need a little bit of luck along the way, that who knows what can happen. I grew up obviously, and you see Kevin Doyle going over from the League of Ireland and doing so well. and then playing on the international stage, you know, you can use him as an inspiration kind of as to what you can kind of become if you work hard. And yeah, I'm just, obviously it's a massive dream, and you know, I couldn't have possibly dreamt it up, but obviously I'm here now and starting tomorrow hopefully, and yeah, just, you know, like I keep saying, I can't wait to kind of get out there on the park.
And of course we wish Conor Salmon the very best of luck, and all the Irish players. And don't forget there's two ex-League of Ireland players on the bench as well. That would be Wes Hoolan, who we all hope will see action at some stage, and Kevin Doyle as well. Even though he's late to the party, he may be involved tomorrow evening at some stage as well. And maybe he'll do what he did against Kazakhstan and come on and turn the game for Ireland. Because I asked Trapattoni the logic behind the two changes, Whelan in for Paul Green and Conor Salmon in for Robbie Keane. And of course there is a doubt still about Mark Wilson. He's carrying a groin injury and he won't be checked until tomorrow morning, and hopefully he'll be fit. So this is what Trapp had to say.
Three change. These three change will be most important, I think, in this game, because Austria is fastest team, is quickly team, and then we need also offensive potential. And Waters is also win long, win someone a very potential at ball in the free kick and also physically.
Well, we were here watching the Austrian training session as well, but we weren't able to stay too long for that. And at the press conference, we asked them to answer us a couple of questions in English, and they weren't forthcoming of that either. Obviously, they say Robbie Keane is a huge loss for Ireland. He is, as Trapattoni often says, the famous player and the one that opposing managers often talk up. But that might not be here nor there. They're a threat, of course, the likes of David Alaba, the Bayern Munich player, who'll play in midfield, although he plays at full-back for Bayern. And they could yet prove to be formidable opposition. But I reckon if we are to qualify, if we are to finish in second place, at least, well, the home games against the likes of Austria are games we really should be winning.
Tony, thank you very much indeed. We look forward to it at the Aviva Stadium tomorrow night. An exciting night of football to look forward to, and after an exciting weekend of electricity action.
I'd like to say hello to my man and my dad in France watching me.
Sashay past my steps, by my porch, in front of my door. In the tramway, it's me and my baby. We're all going crazy, but jumping and having fun. Down in the tramway, it's me and my baby. We're all going crazy, but jumping and having fun.
Okay, a bit of business to do now. We've got to check on the First Division results for you. And as you can see, we're looking at the Premier Division results instead. So Shelburne 0, Shamrock Rovers 0, Cork City 0, Derry City 1, Drogheda United 2, Bray Wanderers 1, Sligo Rovers 2, Limerick 1, UCD 1, Dundalk 2. So that's confirmation there of the Premier Division results. And the Premier Division table as it stands, Sligo Rovers with that advantage over Derry City and Dundalk at the moment. Shamrock Rovers a point further back. Limerick, who've had a good start to their first season back in the Premier Division for 19 years, they're in 5th place. Concerns for UCD at the bottom, though, yet to get off the mark. And now the upcoming fixtures this weekend. Dundalk hosting Drogheda United. The Loud Derby should attract a very good attendance. Then it's Bohemians against the league leaders Sligo Rovers. Bray Wanderers host UCD. It's Derry City against Shelburne. Shamrock Rovers have Cork City in Tala. And then Limerick take on St Patrick's Athletic. And now the First Division results. Athlone Town 1, Cove Ramblers 1, Finn Harps 1, Longford Town 0, Salt Hill Devon 1, Wexford Youths 2, Waterford United 0, Merview United 4. And as you can see, Merview United are currently setting the pace along with Finn Harps in the First Division, level on 7 points. Longford Town, who were challengers for promotion last season, they're at the moment in 3rd spot, 6 points, just the 1 defeat for Longford so far this season. Athlone Town unbeaten so far in 4th position on 5 points. And so the upcoming First Division fixtures. Merview United host Finn Harps, so that's a top of the table clash in Galway. Athlone Town are at home to Salthill Devon. It's Wexford Youths against Waterford United. And then on Saturday, Cove Ramblers entertain Longford Town. OK, just before we leave, a final chat, just reflecting on the current situation with regard to the Republic of Ireland squad, Damien. As Tony has pointed out, so many former league players in that squad now and acquitting themselves extremely well, as David Ford did in that game against Sweden. Yes, it shows you the quality that's here. The unfortunate aspect of it is that all these good players leave the league. Yeah. The economic climate here, which immigration is a problem. But it's great to see David Ford become a goalkeeper of such a calibre at such a late age, almost 33 years of age. Then you look at Conor Salmon and you look at Kevin Doyle. The tribulations he's had over the last few weeks, he's coming back with a point to prove. He might come on tomorrow night and show exactly what he's all about. So it's an exciting time for League of Ireland football, but there are the problems there because you cannot keep afford to losing the best players without replacing them with good young players. Yeah. Just a word that I didn't mention to you, Kenny, while we were having our Ireland chat, but in relation to that team that took to the field against Sweden, it was great to see such a solid defensive performance because all results are built on good defence, as you know from your own career. And that was a good defensive performance as a unit. Yeah, it was, considering they haven't had a huge amount of game time together. We spoke about Mark Wilson. There's seemingly small doubt about his participation tomorrow evening. That'd be a blow because I was really impressed with him against Sweden. Defensively, very astute. They gave good cover to young Kieran Clark alongside him. Very comfortable in possession of the ball. Looks a very versatile player for me. Somebody you could accommodate in a number of positions, even centre half, centre midfield. So again, he's going to be the mainstay of the team going forward. But yeah, that back four was very solid. You know, Seamus taking every opportunity to get forward, and then the mid centre back pairing of John O'Shea and Kieran Clark dovetailed very well and really didn't give the Swedish forwards very little side of goal. So that was very promising, and clearly if we can keep a clean sheet tomorrow evening, you really would fancy our chances of coming out on top. Yeah, so I'm going to ask both of you now to lay your cards on the table for tomorrow night. Sorry for springing this on you, Damien, but that's just the way it is. What do you think? I'm going to go for a good 2-0 win tomorrow evening for the Republic. I love your optimism. Kenny? I'm reasonably confident as long as we play the right way. I just hope we don't get caught between two stools trying to play too much football because we're not set up to play that way. Play to our strengths, get the ball back to front quickly, play in their half of the pitch. And I think we've got too much pace, strength and quality high up the pitch for Austria to trouble us. So play the right way with the players we have on the pitch and we'll come out on top. Yeah, it really is a hugely important fixture, but certainly the Republic of Ireland squad should take lots of encouragement from the result against Sweden on Friday night. Let's hope it goes well for the Republic of Ireland tomorrow. And by the way, if you're going along to the Aviva, bring something noisy with you. Good night.